I think students don't learn as much because teachers don't reach their takeoff point. And so that, regular schooling, it used to be, I think for some of us, okay, because we were studying to get marks and you predictably, if you do well, can get a job. But now it's not the same. And so most students find school boring and irrelevant for their needs. So what teachers have to do for pedagogy is link in to students' concerns, and they're not simply in the curriculum. So some of the things that we see working now are, for example, how do you improve the local community? What are some of the needs? How can we study that and make some, so students want a sense of purpose, they want to learn, they want to be more active, not sitting there passively, they want to do something that's worthwhile, they want to do something that's tied into who they might become. I think what's in the past now are two things. One is the teacher talking all the time. So it used to be that when I went to school, 90% of the talk was the teachers. And the center of knowledge was the teacher. So that definitely is in the past. That's not engaging, obviously. And then most students can get the answer anyways on Google or otherwise, so you don't need the teacher just to talk. So that's one change. And then I think the other change is that the immediate study of real problems. So what's pollution, or what's climate change, what's happening in our community, where's Ergo as a country going? So what I say, the problems of tomorrow are actually today. So the relevance of the curriculum, the relevance of the learning has to be, first of all, it has to be relevant and has to be much more today, but it's also deeper. So you have a chance to go deeper. It's not superficial. So there's some big changes, and the reason that they're good, not only aside from the fact they're needed, is they're more interesting for students. So they get more motivated. Yeah, I think the school landscape, or the environment, if you like, is very different, and we call it the learning environment. So we have the teaching, we have the partnership, we have the digital, and we have the learning environment, only four things. And I think, first of all, the environment within the school, within the classroom, I should say, is very different. We used to see the chairs and all lined up, and now it's more open-ended. So that's one change. The other change is some of the learning environment is what you access, not just by the internet, but participate in examining things. So that's a big difference. And we didn't talk very much about the high schools, the secondary schools. But in our own country, this is still a problem. The secondary schools, the learning environment is not organized the right way now. Subjects, departments, timetable is all set. The structure is outdated. And our current priority right now is to start to change that. But even though we've been at it a while, we haven't changed this. The high school hasn't changed yet. So that's a big priority. Yes, big priority to do. I think the main obstacles, and we see them everywhere in our country, not just here. The main obstacles are that teachers are used to teaching in a certain way. They're in control. They have the knowledge. They have the center of attention. So they're used to that. And the new pedagogies require them to be more democratic, more with involving the students. So people, I think, any of us would feel this way. We feel threatened by the change. It's comfortable the old way. Even if it's not working, it's still comfortable. And now in the new way, I'm not comfortable. I feel like I'm not a teacher anymore. I don't even know what I am anymore. So that lack of comfort of the culture, I think even the teachers we see trying the new ways, if you don't provide support, they fall back in the old ways. they fall back into the comfort zone. And I think the good news is students can actually be quite helpful in the change. And we say, we have this phrase, students as change agents for pedagogy. If teachers get to the point where they start interacting with students this way, where they say to students, what ideas do you have as to how I could teach differently and better? And unless there's a fear factor for students, students start to give lots of ideas. So it's an untapped resource, the students, and they can be very creative, they can be very helpful, and they're not negative now. They're negative when they're bored, but they're not negative when they're involved.